Hello, everyone, and welcome to our AI Accelerator podcast. Today, we have Kuldeep, who has started his journey in exploring UiPath Test Cloud. So, Kuldeep, can you tell us about what got you interested into the UiPath Test Cloud?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Tushar, for having me. Let me introduce myself. I'm Kuldeep Bora, and I'm a fresher straight out of college, and I have joined Accelerate as a test automation engineer. So, what got me into UiPath Test Cloud or testing? I knew about UiPath during my college days, since UiPath is a benchmark for automation testing, and when I joined Accelerate, they gave me access to Test Cloud, very brand
Mhm.
new feature in UiPath that combines the all previous requirements of Test Suite, then adds AI autopilot and makes it a whole different system of their own that is known as Test Cloud.
And that's amazing. It's interesting to know that you got introduced about the testing portion. And have you
Yeah.
experienced the automation aspect of it as well?
Yeah, so what we do on Test Cloud or what we do in Accelerate is automation testing. So we basically take manual steps, like
Hmm.
we make manual steps of a process that this will happen, and then followed by this. Then we automate it through UiPath Test Studio. Once the whole thing is automated, we push it to the Test Cloud. Then when it goes in the Test Cloud, we have the insights. If the test is failed, if the test is passed, if it failed, then we'll have a screenshot. Then where did it fail? How much did it fail? We'll have percentage of automation. If the also now we have performance testing, if the software is doing well or how it is performing, and that is how we do automation testing through UiPath Test Cloud. Yeah.
That's interesting to know. I feel like many of our audience who are into automation, they feel like UiPath
Yeah.
Studio is just helping us to develop the automation. And with this
Yes.
perspective, I think it would give them the idea how
Yes.
about the UiPath Studio is helping them in testing. Could you explain more about
Yes.
like how it is different with the UiPath testing and how what all features it provides us?
So yeah, so if we start with normal UiPath Studio for automation, what we do is we make sequences and processes. But for test automation, we go to UiPath Studio and we have a different template. Its name is test automation, and we use a template called test automation template. There we get various activities regarding test automations. Suppose we need to verify something, so we will have verify control activity. Suppose if this thing is equal to this thing, then we will verify it through the robot. Suppose we need to do API testing, so we'll have options to call APIs and verify the different uh, endpoints that the API will have. We will also have automation for mobile and application testing if you want to do for iOS, if you want to do for Android. And these are the added on features on UiPath Studio that we have for testing itself. And it's not separate from UiPath Studio used in automation, but it's something added on to it for testing specifically.
That's perfect. I mean, gives us a lot of flexibility in testing and also different options. And when you said
Yeah.
like there are the different templates, I feel like
Yeah.
with every development we have to test it, and if the testing is thorough, it helps us in the production later, right? That's good. So let's see one of the situations where Test Cloud really helped you as a fresher, and how did you think that this is separating you from the other person, like who is in the industry? How this is helping you more?
So let's take about a simple website. A couple of months back, I was working on a client that wanted me to automate a website that has a different variation based on different inputs. So what
Hmm.
we do when we normally test it manually, there will be 124 variations of that one single test case. If we do it manually, it takes a lot of time. Suppose I use the insights of Test Cloud. I made the automation. I published it. I run the automation through the Test Cloud, and I see two or three test cases have failed. It was a death scenario where I don't have to go through each and every test case where it failed. I just went to the reports, clicked on it. I saw the screenshot, and it
Hmm.
indicated, okay, this was not verified and this didn't load. So this why it failed. I went back to my automation on Studio. I fixed the small tweaks that I had to make. I publish it again and it ran. That is how Test Cloud helped me. But if we had to do it manually or through pure automation without
Hmm.
Test Cloud, I had to go through 1 to 24 test cases looking at how it failed, why it failed, going through logs. So it just ease our experience. It reduces the time it takes to validate test cases and fix those. Yeah.
I think that's a real time saver. And also, I think in terms of the visibility, how many test cases
Yeah.
are being passed, failed, and can change accordingly. And I
Yeah.
think this can be reusable across different automation, or there is a scope of we have to make some changes and then we can reuse these.
The insights are a part of Test Cloud. No matter what you automate, if you publish
Hmm.
it to the Test Cloud, you can use those. Across anything that you automate through UiPath Studio, you can just publish it and you use this feature.
Okay. I think the transition from manual testing to automation testing is there
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
different industries as well and different domains, and especially
Yeah.
where there is a lot of scope for testing, where like you have to
Yes.
test around, like as you said, the number was high. If there are
Yeah.
more screens and you test in different scenarios, edge
Yeah.
cases, I mean, it is really helpful. And it definitely
Yes.
helps, I think, the end user, the business team, about
Yeah.
getting the view, about the insights, the
Yes.
visibility is there. That I feel like
Yes.
was lacking earlier in manual testing, right? Because
Yes. Yes.
no matter what you might be testing, but that
Yes.
visibility to the end user is not there. So I think that's a
Not there.
it's a good tool.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say Kuldeep, let's say you are also have started your journey into this. What all things did you, while you were learning into this and experiencing the tool, what all
Yeah.
things that you feel like would you now, if you want to start your journey again, would you do
Yes.
differently to learn this? And what all tips would you give to our audience?
Yeah, the first thing that you we should do while learning testing or this tool is be inquisitive. I mean, if we are given a software, our website, an API, or anything that is, even though we think that this is good, we should always think about how we can break this. Testing is all about how we can break things. So
Hmm.
I started as a fresher, so I had very little idea about testing. So as I continued, as I developed myself and learned this skill, I'm still learning. I realized that inquisitiveness, how can we break a thing? In testing, we call it negative testing, is very important. And to learn the tool, we do have various documentations on UiPath Test Cloud. We have videos. There is also a certifications that we need to do. It's called Software Test Engineering Professional that UiPath
Hmm.
offers, and it's a free course. Only the certification costs us the money. But if you want to learn, then we can go through this course in UiPath Academy, and everything will be in line. It's very well curated course for uh, anyone who's starting with testing.
And that's an interesting perspective that you said, like, having the curiosity to make the application fail, or, thinking
Yeah,
about the edge cases. I think that's very important. I mean, people do say, let's be positive in our life, but I think for
yeah,
testing, you need to see, have a different perspective
yeah.
to,
We need to be negative towards it.
yeah. So for testing, I
Okay.
think the motto needs to be changed. But that's a
Yes, yeah,
very good. I feel like as a fresher also, when you're gaining experience in learning new things, and while in testing also, when you
yeah,
have that, I think this acumen of having that curiosity should be high, and in
yeah,
testing, it definitely complements your skill. So that's a good point. I think it's a different experience altogether in testing. And I also
yeah.
wanted to know your experience, like from the part of testing, how do you feel like the in if I'm a developer, automation developer, so
Yes,
if someone who is there in testing and they want to
yeah,
switch to, let's say, automating with UiPath
yeah,
Studio, like,
yeah.
is the threshold, means is it completely different the studio experience, or I think it would complement? How is the scenario with that?
So that is one great thing that is good about testing is as we test things out, so we learn
Hmm.
about the process and we learn about the software. If I'm testing a website, let's say, so we will learn about how a website works, what is the structure. for automation, if we are testing an RPA bot or an RPA workflow, we'll know how does the RPA process work, the what is a framework, how does it work, and what is it doing, and all. So if we want to switch from testing automation to typical RP automation, the threshold is not that high. You already know the skills, like you would already know how to use the tools. Automation is now like, how do you use the tools for automation? Now we know it for testing. Is you just need to learn a couple of more things, do a bit of projects, and you can switch to testing. It's not that hard, according to me.
I think with the automation, when you have the testing skill set already mastered,
Yeah,
it will only complement you in switching or transitioning to
yeah,
the development phase. And I think it would give you better advantage because, as I said, testing is very important. The more you test, the better you test. It helps you in the production,
yes,
and
yes,
the more better the product is, the end goal, the client and the business user, they are more happy with the automation. So I
yes,
think that's a very valid point that you're saying, and I think this is one of the blockage that everyone has. Like if they are testing into the testing field, I need to get into
yes.
automations. So they always hesitate. Is it possible or not? So
Yeah,
that's I think that you answered it very well. And these advice would definitely help a lot of
yeah,
people who are already there in testing, and
yeah,
also for the newcomers who are looking into the test
yeah.
automation cloud. So that's very helpful. Thank you for the advice, Kuldeep. And I think thank you for your sharing your journey about how did you get into this and how are you liking this process. So if our audience, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us and we'll happy to
Yes.
answer that. Thank you, Kuldeep.
Thank you very, very much, Tushar. Thank you for having me. Everyone, happy automating. Thank you.